Good morning. On the bench today, as you can see, I have three engines. Two are two OS FS20 engines, and one is OS 45 FSR. I think it's a 45, not the 40. It's the 45 FSR. So I have these engines here to show you a few things and to do some things. So this engine here is the engine that I just received back from Jay after he did his vapor honing and Cerakoting on it. And I reassembled it, and this is the other FS20 engine that I have. That this is really not the fairest comparison because I haven't done any cleaning to this one at all, but I thought since I had two of the same engines here, I would show you kind of what it looks like after Jay's process, and that is kind of the topic of this discussion. So I'll put those off to the side here. Today I'm going to be disassembling this engine here because Jay is offered to vapor hone and Cerakote yet another engine, and this is actually the one he wanted to do for me initially anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and disassemble this engine here, and this is the first time I've had a chance to take a look at this engine and see what it looks like. Now this engine, if you recall, which many of you may not because I didn't recall either. I had to go and look in my videos to see when I got this engine. But this is an engine that came with the Facebook Marketplace score deal that where I got the SIG LT40 kit. So this was part of that deal. Looks like I'm going to need a cross point bit to get the carb off. So I mean, this is going to be exciting for me because I really like the FSR series of engines, and to have this one done with Jay's process will be really cool. So this carb is in good shape. You know, it's dirty, obviously, but that's part of what is going to happen with it when Jay gets it. Now I believe that I did purchase new prop nut and prop washer for this because these are not the stock, and that's interesting. I didn't realize. Maybe I already popped this thing off. I'm not sure. Huh. I don't know. Maybe I don't recall doing that, but or maybe it was just it came to me like that. I don't know. Let's see if this engine's ever been opened before. Doesn't seem to. Has that cracking sound from a torqued factory from the fastener from the factory. I'm telling you, it is bitter cold outside right now. Here in Wisconsin we are having, I think temperatures are probably in the single digits, and the wind is really howling, so it's putting our wind chills below zero. And I'm sitting here looking at engines thinking, man, it sure would be nice to be able to run an engine, and then you go step outside and you're like hit with this stark reality of it could be a while. Or at least you say, not today. Now I might actually have to bring my heat gun over here to get this thing motivated to loosen up. I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it like this. That feels like there might be some garbage in that connector, the head of that. So I know I haven't mentioned this lately, but one of the keys when you're disassembling an engine is full engagement. Why does that not feel like it's going in there at all? It kind of wants to go in that way. It really feels like there's some garbage in there. So anytime you don't feel like you're getting full engagement, I'm using a pick, a very sharp object here to try and clean this out. I don't know why that doesn't feel like it's wanting to go in there. I didn't want to have to drop this in the ultrasonic first. Oh, there we go. Because I didn't plan on that when I turned the camera on. Yeah, this engine's never been opened. Tell by the way those fasteners are popping like that. This will be good because I've already got parts coming. New gaskets, new bearings, all of that stuff. Hopefully that O-ring on the bottom of the carb is good because I did not order one of those, nor do I know if you can still even get one without having to go to some automotive place and hope for the best. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pause the video here for a moment while I go and grab my heat gun. Okay, heat gun in hand. See if that's enough to motivate this thing to want to give up. See, when I'm doing this, I'm trying to hit just the corner here to try to make that corner just move just slightly, like it just did there. There we go. So if you can get that corner to just kind of move. Now this one, I'm kind of trying to hit it right around here to just try to pop it free, and then you got to be real careful here. You don't want to hit the carb opening. And I'm doing it with something that's got a rubber coating on it. It looks like it's starting to come free here, but I think I'm gonna do this a little bit more. And this thing is, it does move freely. I took that nut off there already, but I don't know if this is an ABC or a ringed engine. I can't recall. Okay, that's hot. Okay, there we go. Alright, now I'm going to leave my glove on here while I take these head screws out because I know this head's hot. Now that screw was not tight. So that's interesting. These head screws, 2, 3. That one was really loose. I don't recall taking the head off of this and doing a look inside. I know I didn't do it on video, but none of those head screws were what I would consider tightened properly. That might be cool enough for me to in here to see if this is a ringed engine or not. Nope. That looks like an ABC. That's not what I was hoping to have happen there, because now I'm going to have to get this sleeve out, because I don't think this piston's going to want to come out from the top. So that's not an enjoyable thing, because the way this was feeling doesn't feel like this is going to want to be very cooperative, which means I'm going to have to put this front housing back on and engage this and use the old popsicle stick trick here to get this up. So this may go beyond a little bit what I was planning on doing in this video. So there's our gasket. So I'm going to have to partially reassemble this engine now to get that out. I guess I probably should have looked at that beforehand. But anyway, that's been a quickie disassembly of this 45 FSR engine. Now when this comes back from J, it will look considerably different than it does now, and that will be interesting, and I will show you that at a later time. Okay, I just turned the camera back on. It did not occur to me until after the fact that when I said to do the popsicle stick trick, that maybe many people don't know or understand what that is. So what that is if you've got a piston, especially an ABC piston that will not come out just this way by undoing it from the connecting rod or the crankshaft. The crankshaft connecting rod doesn't have fitment. ABC engines aren't going to do that. A ringed engine will come out. What the popsicle stick trick is to heat this up a lot. And I had a big prop on here. And now I'm going to have to pop this collet off again. Tighten the prop down enough so that it's going to, stay attached and rotate. And then I oiled this thing up and heated the living crap out of it. Really hot. That's why I'm still holding it here. And then what you do is, either with a popsicle stick, which is ideal because it's thinner, but the port gaps, this is not too hot now. The exhaust port gaps here were not big enough for me to do this, and I'd already heated it up and I didn't want to go and try and cut this thing down. I could have just cut this thing down, but I also had a bamboo skewer. So what I did was I just stuck the bamboo skewer in here and rotated that piston up to top dead center, and this effectively starts lifting the sleeve up. And once the sleeve comes up a 16th, 18th, or 1/8 of an inch or so, it just pulls right out in most cases. Now I can tell you for a fact that I have been working, or I stopped working on it, a Super Tiger G90 engine I was going to change the bearings on, and I've never really done a complete disassembly of a Super Tiger engine before, and discovered that, and I'd read several different places, several different times, that Super Tiger fitments are very, very tight. And I'm telling you, man, I just didn't have the tools or the strength or anything to get that sleeve all the way out. So I just said, I'm bailing on doing that. So just in case any of you are interested in having a Super Tiger engine serviced, be advised I may say no, because I don't want to get into a situation where there was just not enough. It wasn't a front housing detachable, it was a single piece case, obviously. I don't want to get into another situation like I just experienced with the one I've got, where I couldn't get that out, because if you can't get the sleeve out and the piston out, you obviously can't replace the bearings. So that's just food for thought. Now the thing that kind of sucks about this is that, where's my piston? Oh, it's still in here. Is that this is an ABC style, well, OS, it's called ABN, an ABN piston. Now it doesn't look like this has got a lot of runtime on it, and I'll have to check the sleeve and see if the sleeve looks like it's got any peeling. I don't think they had the peeling issue quite so much with the older FSR engines, but this is one of those things where I might have thought twice about the whole Facebook Marketplace deal if I had taken tools with me and taken this off and determined right then and there whether this was an ABC engine or a ringed engine. Because honestly, the way things are now, with you can't get replacement ABC, because ABC or ABN, whatever you want to call it, this is a match set. You can't just go mixing and matching a piston with any other sleeve, even if you could find just a piston. So that's why I am a high proponent of, if you're buying used or new engines that are no longer produced, get a ringed engine, because rings can be replaced very easily, and there might even be a link in my description. If there's not, I can put one there to RJM Works. I think that's what it's called, RJM Machine Works or something like that. Bjorn Ball out of Midland, Texas, where he produces rings again for Frank Bowman, who passed and stopped doing that, obviously. But rings can be replaced very easily, and they're very affordable from him. So, but this could be a junk engine if there's any peeling in this sleeve, and unless I could find a 45 ringed sleeve and piston, and then I could make this whole again. But anyway, that's why I really kind of shy away from the ABC style type engines at this point in history.